The Wagwans, the Bamba Clats and Batty Boys and Batty Gals. Welcome back. Glad you made it. It's another social production. That's right. We're doing it on December the 26th, 2025. End of the year. It's pretty much here. It's the last full week of the end of the 2025 is about to, it's behind us. It's beneath you. You're above it. It's done and over with. Almost. We're almost there. Congratulations for making it this far. If you're just joining us today, congratulations to you too. Welcome to the show. Where can you find these videos? On Instagram, on YouTube. Follow me there if you like. Subscribe. Check out patreon.com/RobSadri if you'd like to fiscally, financially support the show. If that's your bag. If that gets you going. You're like, oh, how do I support an independent show grow right before my eyes, like a tumor, like a cancerous tumor? How do I do that? Patreon.com/RobSadri. Living the life. The underground life of podcasting, and trying to squeeze myself into comedy by force, because that's the elbows fucking greased up, no knee pads, no rubber on the cock, head first with a heart filled with hope and optimism, a little twinkle in my eye, and a half boner all the way to the middle, to the top, and then back to the middle, and then to the bottom, and then back to the middle, and then back to the top, and then it's neither here or there. Nonetheless, a lot has gone on. It's the end of the year, baby. We're here. We did it. We're doing it. It's the end of the year. You did it. No, you did it. No, you did it, motherfucker. Who put on your shoes? You did it. Who tied them laces? You did it. Who changed your own diaper? If you're like, adult diaper, connoisseurs, you probably changed your own, or maybe you got somebody else to change. But if you're a baby, how are you watching this? And then definitely your parents changed this diaper of yours. But nonetheless, the point is, if you're just tuning in, welcome. If you've been with me from the beginning of this little podcast that could, that will, that should, that is. Thank you from the beginning. Thank you for being a part of my life and letting me be a part of yours. If you're just tuning in today, welcome to the familia. It's a tiny little familia, but nonetheless, it's a global sensation, growing each and every day. All right, maybe not every day, but growing nonetheless. Thank you. Welcome back. Wherever you are tuning in from, whether it is Canada and further down south, the United States, further down south than that, Mexico, South America, Europe, Asia, Africa, South Pole, North Pole, over there in Botswana, over there in Cote d'Ivoire, over there in Spain, over there in Italy, over there in Austria, Shanghai, Beijing, Thailand, Nicaragua, Peru, Chile, all around the world, 365. Thank you once again for joining me. And it is Boxing Day. Congratulations. That's the day. It's today, baby. It's Boxing Day. One of the most cherished days of the year. Comes right after Christmas, of course. One of the biggest days was celebrated just a couple of days ago. Yesterday, actually. Yesterday was Christmas. Time flies, doesn't it? By the time you watch this, it might have been a couple of days ago. It doesn't even matter. The point is, today, the 26th of December, Friday, is Boxing Day. I'm gonna sip of this. So congratulations if you're celebrating Boxing Day, if you are partaking. Where did it all begin? Where did it all go? Where will it end? No one knows, but we can take a stab at it together. Now, I don't call myself a historian by any stretch of the imagination, so let's just unpack this together. Boxing Day, where did it emerge from? How did it come about? It's mostly an oral tradition, a folklore, if you will, myths, a mythology, stories passed down generation to generation, and the story of boxing is no different than any other story. It started with a couple of parents, born to immigrant parents of Germanic and Indian descent. Hence, he was named the Boxing. That was his name. Again, German and Indian parents. Mr. Boxing revolutionized the world. Born in 1883, it's again to Germanic and Indian parents. That's why they named him Bok Singh. And he went on to change the world for the better. Most of the time, his heart was set in the right direction. Nobody's perfect. He was a flawed man, but nonetheless, Bok Singh went on to do great things in sports, in academics, in the field of science, in the arts, in tarot reading, in playing hopscotch, killed the game, master chess player, or at least he masturbated while he played chess. One of those. He changed the game by not playing. He technically, so the games he played, but the games that he didn't play, he changed by not playing. Did a little bit of he could change all the parts of your car if need be. Like if the tranny went down, like he'd be there. Bok Singh was there. If you were trapped on the side of the highway giving birth to your 7 babies, he was there. If your husband wasn't, Bok Singh was there. He would travel to Africa. He would then hop over and swim over all the way through the Atlantic and make it over to the North Americas. Then he'd kick it with the Indians, with the native Indians, that is, and some other Indians who came over from India, them too. So he did it all, man. Aviation, you talk about, oh man, the propeller design. Bok Singh didn't create it himself, but definitely took note and made a few adjustments. Definitely made a few adjustments. The telephone, some people say Alex Bell. I don't think so. I mean, Bok Singh was always somewhere in the background. Sure, give it to Alex Bell. What else did he do? He sculpted nude women, and then he put clothes on them, and then he sold it. And that way you get a statue and some extra clothes. What else did he do? He wasn't, the Sistine Chapel was already done, but like he went inside a few chapels. He did that. He drove for NASCAR. He did backwards. He drove for NASCAR backwards, blindfolded, with one amputated leg, which he later got a bionic replacement for. Bok Singh. And he also got into boxing, ironically. Named Bok Singh, also got into boxing, the sport. And that's when he combined the art of science and the art of art and added to boxing. He never really created boxing. Boxing was there prior to boxing himself, but nonetheless, he got into boxing, and being boxing, the man he was, he changed the game by sometimes playing in it. But it's not a game. You don't play boxing. Boxing's not a game you play. Boxing's it's a way of life. It's an attitude. And that's what he did. And people loved him. And then eventually he died by getting trampled by 1,000 elephants. That's right. He was trying to milk the elephants to feed local villages using elephant milk. And that's innuendo for elephant jizz. That was what the villagers were eating. I don't judge. That's what they were eating. He was milking 1,000 of them. They got rowdy. They enjoyed it. The few first ones enjoyed it, but then that's when the other elephants are like, oh, milk us first, Bok Singh. Ran him right over, flattened him out. He's dead. Again, born in 1883, died a few years ago. Rest in peace, Bok Singh. And that's why people go out onto the streets and celebrate Bok Singh Day by, trying their best to consume and do the things that he did, and he did everything. So you can consume and feel good, and knowing your consumerism helps support Bok Singh and the legend that was, the man, the myth. So congratulations to you if you're celebrating Bok Singh Day, and shout out to those the Germanic Indian parents who created that beautiful fucking, that little wizard. Congratulations. May his name forever be, echoed in the history books that are like, the books that like you open up and it's got a little like speaker set up. It's tiny with a message. Those types of books, because otherwise books are silent. Unless it's an audio book, that's a different case. We don't have a recording of his voice, despite the fact that he did die a few years ago. Nonetheless, how did he live past 150 years? He did it. He was Bok Singh. He did it first. And today we're all just standing on his shoulders. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining me once again. Legend had it that he had immense control over his facial hair. He could concentrate and grow it out and then think of shaving and the hair would fall out. Boxing. The legend never dies. What else is going on in and around the world, man? It's the end of the year, baby. Some things are, new beginnings are ahead of us. I'm looking forward to the new year. I'm looking forward to 2026. Yeah, we did it. We did it another year. You did it out there. But some things have got to go. You know, things of the past must go. I believe that. You shed the old skin. You shed it like a steak. You shed it like an old condom. I mean, you might use it again, but after, thrice, that's when you chuck it out. You don't want the jizz to overflow and get the lady pregnant, do you? You don't want that broad coming over and saying she's pregnant. So never dump in the same condom more than thrice. That's the old rule. What have we been talking about? Yes, old things must go, new things must come. Because old things came all over the place. Way too much jizz from the old. So the old, out with it. The new, may your journey of coming commence now. Come now. If you're new, come. If you're watching and you're new, I want you to just ejac or squirt, please. Help yourselves. Help me help you. Things that are dying of the past. What just died? The penny. Rest in peace, the penny. Rest in peace, the penny. The US penny is done. I believe the Canadian penny is done too. I haven't seen it. I think we took it out of circulation a little bit earlier than our brethren down south. But yeah, the friggin' penny's gone. It's dead. Lincoln's face, right? If I'm not mistaken. Prezi Lincoln, honest Abe, good facial hair, bone structure. He could have probably he wasn't like typically handsome, but he could have had a modeling career and in Italy or in Europe somewhere or in France maybe, I don't know. He had those like high cheekbones. He did have that weird beard with the ones that the Dagestanis rock, and I don't judge it. It's just put the mustache back on. It just looks I'm just saying it looks a little, the middle is a little bit empty for my preference, but that's neither here or there. So that's, the penny's dead, and I wasn't there around for the emergence of the penny. Once it held a great power, once, and time ago there was a time, you at least heard of it. Many of us have not experienced, but you took a penny, it meant something. You took a handful of pennies, and at one point you could just bite into it and smell it and be like, oh, that's good old copper, and you sucked on that because there wasn't much around to eat, because that's when times were rough. But a penny went a long way. You went into a penny, and you bought half the store with a penny at one point. This is again more than 232 years. That's, oh man. You go to the store, you drop a penny, and a fella would give you a little mason jar filled with jam. Maybe he scooped a little bit off the top for himself, but there's no cameras back then. There's no camera. Well, who else are you gonna go out and get your jam from? There's no Walmart. So you hand over a penny, you get some jam, get some fresh, you get to hold it. He'll hand you a chicken. The store owner would hand you a chicken. You squeeze the chicken right there. You're strangling the chicken. It's boop right there. Boop right there. Out the poop chute comes an egg. You squeeze the chicken some more because you want a dozen eggs. You got to get that farmer's breakfast for your strong start to your morning. And you're squeezing that chicken, and you still got some more money to spend. So you've already chucked that penny at the cashier. So you're taking candy cane, you're taking sugar, you're buying some flour. You probably buy a horse, maybe not a full grown adult horse, but like definitely a pony, one of those midget horses, one of those little cute ones that you put over your shoulder, and then you fucking get the bitches back. Then you get the bitches with the little pony over your shoulder, just skirts flapping. That was the power of the penny. And you put, and then you buy a piece of land from the same store owner, and then on that land was a farm. It wasn't the greatest farm, but a fixer-upper nonetheless. Great way for you to get into the market. That's how long the penny went. And then times passed by. Soon after came bigger currencies, the dime, the nickel, prior to the dime, but then the dime, and then the quarters, and then loonies, dollars, and then $5, and then $10, and then $20, and then so on and so forth. So the penny is, you know, that's the thing. That's the thing. It's nobody cares about the penny anymore. It doesn't mean anything. No longer can you buy land and prostitutes with it. You can just you can tip. You could have, not all of it, but you could have tipped with a penny. And oh, the bitches love the penny because it was a different color from the other coins mostly. So they knew how to separate it easily, especially if they couldn't tell the difference between size. You know, they didn't do too well in school. You know, when they give you the little shapes and you're supposed to put in the holes. So for those prostitutes, the penny was always oh, that's just butter, baby. That just fucking slips right in. You know what I'm talking about? That shit is right. That's as good as gold. That's how good the penny was, but it's dead now. It doesn't mean anything. It's lost its value. You're like, what about the rest of the monies? Does that lose its? I mean, yes, but who cares? At the end of the day, we're all heading to the top. We're all going to become trillionaires by putting our noses to the grindstone, working hard, and not seeing our families. So the good news is, out with the old, in with the new. Forget about the penny. The penny's gone. I didn't even like the penny. Low-key, I'm kind of glad it's gone. I'm going to miss it. You know, just mixed feelings. Saying goodbye is not always easy, but sometimes you must do it. So the penny is gone, ladies and gentlemen. Rest in peace, the penny. More than 232 years of service. You will be missed. What do we do with the face of Abe Lincoln? You are now supposed to, as a patriot, and I'm doing this myself today. I'm doing it to others first, but then at the end of the day, I'll do it to myself. You're supposed to get branded with Lincoln's face on your ass. So again, I will do this to 10 people today after the podcast, after I'm done uploading. You too, take your family, because again, you forget where you'd start. Sometimes a good thing, but other times you don't want to forget. So, you know, where you're not going to forget you came from, having that fucking Abe Lincoln face tatted or branded on your ass, and then come out the shower in the morning, check yourself out in the mirror. Who's winking back at you? You know, that stranger that you brought home from last night, that guy. But also, you know, fucking the Abe Lincoln tat on your ass, lady. There you go. Rest in peace. I think, you know, the penny's gone. The penny's gone. I believe the postal services, I think, you know, the letters, sending letters is also another thing that I think that's going out of, nobody's writing letters. I heard Netherlands is just suspended or eliminated delivering mail in terms of letters. Nobody writes letters anymore. So, you know, it's up for debate. Do we need the postal service? Is that a legit, I mean, like, it's good to have jobs for people, obviously, but like, does anybody, you know, there's the junk mail. I only get junk mail. I've never received a letter in my life, actually, come to think of it. I've never actually received a letter. An actual letter, unless it was like, I'm not talking about bills or, you know, government like reaching out to you and be like, yo, you need to do your taxes, get off my dick, government. But that's, you know, that's coming around right around the corner. But that's what I mean. I've never even received a letter, but I won't again. So dead. Letters are dead too. All right. So now we've been emailing and texting and, you know, Zooming and face calls and, you know, touching each other. So rest in peace to the letter, dude. The art of the letter. When people used to sit down with fucking, you know, with ink and a feather and just fucking, and with candlelight, and they get, you know, and then they'd lose their eyesight by the age of 24. But of course, by then they had great grandchildren. So that's all right. They passed on the seed. You did what you were supposed to do. It's done and over with. You're old now. Die, you old 24-year-old. But here we are. People are living longer and no longer writing letters. And the penny's dead. Rest in peace. Good times. But the future is bright. I believe that. We did it together. Fucking 2025, baby. Rest in peace to the penny and the letter. And once again, salute to boxing. What else is going on in and around the world, man? The question is, should you go ahead, and somebody came in with this, it's the holiday season, somebody came in and asked, with my fat pregnant wife who's getting fatter by the day, what do I do when she needs assistance? Do I help her out? And they mentioned, i.e., provided an example, when she falls on her back like a fat turtle and she can't get back up, do I assist my fat wife? Do I help this fat bitch? She's on her back. I'm so pregnant with your baby. you know, she can't fucking get back up, you know? What do? Do you help her out? Do you go, and there's a pro and con to everything. So yeah, you could get the old kayaking paddle and just fucking wedge it underneath her fat ass and kind of like scoop her up. You could do that. But my friend, I ask you this, you help her today, what will you do tomorrow when you're not there, busy at work, and she falls on her fat ass and she can't get back? I'm so pregnant, come help me, Mike. And you're not there, you know? So yeah, if you're there, maybe you could help her out, you know, low key, stand a little bit further just to, you know, get her to do one sit-up. Would it kill her to do one sit-up? I know, right? So stand in front of her and ask her to reach out with her hand and grab your arm and pull her up. And by pull her up, I mean stand still so she can use your weight as a counterweight to herself and then get back up. A little bit, at least even one sit-up. It wouldn't fucking, you know, kill you, but they're always there. You know what I'm talking about? So yeah, do you help her out? I mean, if you want to help her out because of the kindness of your heart, do so. But know this, by helping her out, you're only making her weaker and more dependent on you. You're like, what about, oh, she can't tie her shoes. So the only footwear she's been wearing for the past 3 months are slip-ons and Velcro shoes. What if she wants to wear running shoes? Do I tie the shoes for her? If she can't, if she's gotten very big, large lady, she can't bend over to tie her shoelaces. Do I do it for, you know? You know, next thing you know, she fucking forgets how to tie her shoes. Next thing you know, you tie her shoes incorrectly. And because that's the thing too. A lot of people are like, I've tied my own shoes. I can probably tie somebody else's shoes. You do it too tight on this bitch and she's pregnant. Fat ankles, fat, juicy ankles now. You cut off blood flow because you don't know how the blood is circulating inside her body. You don't feel the shoes on your feet because it's not your feet, it's her feet. You did it too tight. Next thing you know, her and the baby both dropped dead. And that was you going out there with a good heart trying to help out. So tell her to stick to the Velcro and the slip-ons for now. And just keep an eye on her. Just keep an eye on her. You know what I'm talking about. If she comes at you and she's like on the couch and can't get back up, she's trying to like, Like, do I help her or, you know, watch her to just break in the couch cushions even more than she's already done so? You know, help her now and get her used to not using her back muscles and her knees to lift herself up, or risk having damaged couch cushions. Both legitimate concerns. I'd say, you know what, opt for the couch cushions and replace them. Let her struggle a little bit. Again, you don't want her to just be fully dependent on you. There's gonna come a time where you're not gonna be around and she's gonna have to move. She's gonna have to waddle if you have to, hop, you know, roll, bitch, roll. You know, you're round, you're basically a ball right now, just roll on to the next place. So again, you could help, but it is a slippery slope. I'd say do it very carefully. Don't go just making her completely dependent on you. And because there's gonna come a time, all right? But again, to each their own, no judgment here. Love is love. And thank you for that very thoughtful question around these times. The holidays are upon us. We're knee deep in the holiday season right now. You know who didn't have a good holiday? God. This guy. I mean, first of all, the only reason why I'm even talking about this just because of the term, just because I read the term. If it was any other person, it would have still been devastating for them. I mean, rest in peace to this particular fella as well. A Russian general just got bombed in Moscow. I believe his car just got, it went kaplooey, dude, and he's dead. He was gonna go for his car. I don't know if he was walking towards the car, then it exploded. I don't know if he like went for the door and then pulled the door handle and then it exploded. I don't know if he put the key in the ignition and turned it on and then it exploded. I don't even know if he put the key in the ignition, turned it on, pressed gas, or put it in reverse and then it exploded. I don't know if it just, you know, exploded with feet, like, you know, turned the radio on or what. But the car exploded. Apparently he's dead. And the only reason why I caught my attention was just because it's fascinating to me, because again, we're going at 2026 is right around the corner, and this is one of those like old school, not even old world jobs. Like, who's a general today? Who's a general? Like, and this guy's dead. He's Russian, I know. Like, so, you know, like, love my Russians, but he's, you know, but that's the thing. That's the side. The point is, like, how do you even get into being a general? Like in today, because like I think of general, I'm just thinking like, gluteus maximus, okay, squeeze on my count, men, squeeze. And he was, gluteus maximus, Aurelius, gladiator, you know what I'm talking about. A lot of squats, a lot of dips, a lot of lunges, just a lot of just working on your derriere essentially. Gluteus maximus. So I think about that guy, but at that time it made sense. We were, just everybody was warring. Everybody was like, get on the battlefield. You're like, I'm trying to masturbate. They're like, get off the stack of hay and come fight with us. I'm trying to jerk off here or get my dick sucked. There's this free-spirited, beautiful woman somewhere who's found you and you found her and you just trying to fucking bang. She's got this massive giant bush and both of you have not showered forever really, unless you took a dip in the river. And wants to do that. You want to get leeches stuck on your cock? I don't think so. So you're both just fucking, your dank is real, son. It is, but it's nice. And you're about to go to town and somebody comes and drags you. You're like, the general called you. The general, and you're getting head. You're like, let me finish. Come on, let me finish. And he's there. Somebody's there with a fucking, bow and arrow or a sword. Like, come take this. You're like, this isn't even my weapon. I'm a rock guy. I throw the rock. I'm the guy who throws the rock. They're like, we ran out of rocks. Grab a sword. The general said so. And that was the general. He was on a horse, dude. The general had this horse, and his horse was different than every other horse. Typical horses would have, 2 nostrils, but the general's horse would typically come in with like 4 to 6 nostrils. And that was kind of like, that was kind of like the engine size of, the historical times. And, what's the horsepower on that bitch? And this horse is coming up there with like 4 nostrils, just fucking, typical horse noises. And that was the general. But today you hear it's 2025 and like we're going into 2020 and there's still like a general, dude. There's somebody like, that, what do they even do? What does a general even do? It's so generic. So many, what doesn't he do? A man of many trades, a general of all trades, a jack of all, jacking off to many of things, but not specifically jacking off to one thing, the general. But he's dead. This guy's dead, and it just got me. So yeah, I guess in hindsight, there's an opening for a job if you are fluent in Russian. Enjoy yourself a healthy dose of vodka, caviar, strawberries dipped in chocolate, yacht life, taking taking dips in snow and then jumping in a jacuzzi. Jumping in, that's the thing that, and squatting and smoking cigs. If you're into that, we can make it happen. So yeah, that's the thing. It just caught my attention just for the general as a job today in modern postmodern society, whatever you want to call it. Like right now, we still have these guys. It's crazy. It's one of those, like, again, it's one of those old world jobs. Nobody, guess you still need them. Anyway, that's neither here or there, but apply. If you're like, I don't know how to focus on one thing, I'm just like, generally speaking, I'm all right. So fucking there you go. Open up a little document, update your resume, send in a little request for interview, see how it goes. But neither here or there, but that's, again, it's Boxing Day anyway, so what are we even talking about? It's Friday. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me. Let's get a sip of this shit. Speaking of swords and bows and arrows, pivot, skirt. New Jersey man killed another New Jersey man using a bow and arrow. That caught my attention because of the bow and arrow. Who kills with a bow and arrow, dude? Who dies with a bow and arrow? Who kills with a bow and arrow? It's my question. And your question, who dies with a bow and arrow? No, you shouldn't die with a bow. I mean, how do you die? I mean, rest in peace. But still, you should. And it's, obviously you feel bad for the person who died, but you also low-key feel a little bit like, no one, who kills with a bow and arrow? Who dies with a bow and arrow? You get hit with a bow and arrow, son. You should just be able to, you should be able to, like, get up. If you get shot with a bow and arrow, you should get up, break the arrow off, because you don't want to be walking around. Is that what he did? Did you, hey, I don't even know anything, but if I were to just speculate and guess what you're supposed to do. If you get hit with a bow and arrow rather, get up immediately. Don't move around too much because you don't want the arrow might be long. You don't want to just be, turning around and, bumping into other people, getting your blood all over them. I'd say to break off whatever's like sticking out your body. Like leave a little bit of it, leave like an inch or two so that like later on doctors could pull it out. Don't pull it out yourself. Or is that with bullets? No, bullets you can't pull out yourself unless you're fucking living that life, getting shot. Anybody could get shot. Pulling it out, don't pull it. Apply pressure. Again, no, that's for bullets. Apply pressure on the. Don't remove the bullets yourself unless you could. Apply pressure, but for arrows, leave like an inch or two for somebody else to pull it out. Or should you pull it out? Why would you leave it in? Why would you become some cuck waiting for somebody to pull it out? Oh, help me pull this arrow out of my torso. What a cuck move, dude. Pull it out yourself. I don't care what they say. You're gonna bleed to death. Are ya? We're filled with a lot of blood. I don't think you're gonna bleed to death. If you got gum, chew gum, you know what I mean? Pull it out and then fucking right there, just plug it with a little bit of that hubba bubba. Just fucking, blow a bubble. Just blow a little bubble with a bubble gum and then just, put it over and then walk around with a little bubble over your wound. That way you won't. But yeah, who dies with a bow and arrow? Again, who kills with a bow and arrow? God damn. What if you get hit in the back? That's hard it is hard to, If you get hit in the back, at least with a bullet that's inside you could still get up and walk. But if you get hit in the back with a bow and arrow, you get, and you can't even, if it's like right dead center in the middle of your back, you know how hard it is to fucking reach around and trying to grab that? I can only reach this far. If I got hit in the back, God, all right, this is as far as I can go lower, dude. But if it's in between here, anywhere else, bro, anywhere else, I'd fucking grab that. You don't want anywhere else, I'd grab that, but like right here, you see that right here, right there. Do you see it? Right. So you gotta be really good. I'm not wishing this upon anybody, of course, but I'm just telling you, because anywhere else I'd fucking grab it and break it and then remove it. But just, you got about an inch or two right in the middle where I can't. And by I can't, I mean like, not if I'm standing, dude, because if I'm on my bipedal shit, I might not be able to do it. But you don't want me on the ground, dude, because that's where the game begins. That's where I'm like, you fucking got me in the back. Now I'm gonna, if you want me to get on the ground, then it's on, dude. Because if I'm on the ground, then anything goes. I'm talking fucking, I'll tuck and roll and bite your ankle, if you're close by. If I will fucking, I'll grab your socks and I'll just yank on them so it becomes loose and you're just walking around the rest of the day with like loose socks. Ugh. Yeah. I'll grab your pant leg and just kind of low-key rip it and how's your favorite pair of jeans? Ruined. And that's me on the ground, baby. So yeah, who gets shot in the bod with a bow and arrow? And who also did this guy and that guy in New Jersey? Fucking take it to the turkey range, dude. Shoot a turkey, shoot a rabbit, shoot a little, I don't know what you shoot with a bow and arrow. Deer, turtles, fish. You want to be a big boy and show off? Shoot fish with a bow and arrow, then you're a man. Otherwise, well, you're still a man, but fucking, you're gonna talk about old world shit. Neither here or there, ladies and gentlemen, but here we are. Here you are, another year behind you, in your ass, in your puss, in your cock hole, another year. A lot of people want to have golden showers, but they want to have the problem with golden showers is what I've noticed is that it's very invasive. But I like to let you know now that there's a new service you could actually subscribe to and obtain for a fee of $10.99 per month. And this is a lifetime subscription. Professional individuals who are trained will show up at a press of a button to your residence, get in your shower, and they will bring specially made ladders which they will use to climb on top of, and then you and your boo can also get in the shower. And in the meantime, you're showering and getting it on. These fellas and ladies are on top of that ladder, just giving you that golden shower experience without having the feeling of, oh, this is too invasive. I know, we've all been there. We've all been there. How invasive does it get? Quite invasive. And that's the number 5 reason, that number 1 to 5, those are the reasons why many people opt out of the golden shower, for the fact that it's just too invasive. Too many people bumping up against you. Get out of here. I just asked for a golden shower, not a full body massage. Thank you, stranger. Get out of here. Not with professional golden showers. You'll never have another invasive golden shower experience again. They'll climb on top of the ladder, nice and quiet. They're professionals, all right? They come in, they got little plastic bags that go over their shoes. They get into the shower. They don't even get fully undressed, dude. Specially made suits that they'll unzip in the genital area, which will expose their genitalia, and they're above you. They're not bumping elbows into your ribs. They're not, you're not giving little Eskimo kisses thinking you're about to give your lover an Eskimo kiss. Who's giving your lover an Eskimo kiss? You are, not that stranger who you just asked for a little golden shower. Next thing you know, I'm making out with your wife. Good God. But that all ends today. A good professional service is what the people wanted, and that's what you get. And again, that's for legendary man, myth, and altruist boxing. Rest in peace. This one's for you, homie. This one's for you. What else is going on in and around the world? This one fascinates me because I don't even know what I want to do with this one. Sometimes you hear things and you're like, what do I even do with this? And it's one of those instances where I said to myself, what do I even do with this? Talking about a 100-ton fatberg in the sewers of East London. Apparently this thing's just accumulated over time. They found it. I'm guessing it led to some sort of massive clogging. I'm guessing. So this is all the fat that people pour it down their drain from cooking and whatnot, and also sanitary wipes. I'm guessing that's just, we're talking about, it said wipes. Flushing wipes in the toilet. This is definitely not toilet paper. I believe this is the bitches that get the period and they got those, extra wide wings for their extra large labias, and they just, I just perioded. And that's another thing they're doing too, these bitches these days. You heard them say it at the end of every sentence, period, announcing that they're on their period. So, which is nice. I actually do enjoy that. I do want to know, period. It's like, all right, this bitch is leaking. We now know, period. So they announce it now. That's a new thing. But whatever, I'm not even concerned about that. The point is that this fatberg is what I'm fascinated with. I don't even know what to do with that. What if and that's, I low-key want to just, want to get in that sewer system and just fucking, what do you even do? You're like one of these, you're an engineer, you're a city planner, you're in the city, you maintain thing, you get in there and there's just giant 100-meter long blob of fat, oil, probably poo, a little bit of poo, probably, mixed with the fat. Use tampons and pads, just a giant gunk, and it's 100 tons. That's, each car weighs roughly what, depending on the car, like 2 to 3 tons. Let's just say 2 tons per, let's just say 3 tons. Let's just say, for keeping it easy, just make 2 tons per car. God, it's like 50 cars worth of just lard, just fat bear. And I don't even know what I'd do with that if I saw it. Just imagine how giant that fat piece of fat is. I kind of low-key want to just run into it high speed and see how far could I go in, Or is it really hardened? Is it hardened? Can I have a piece of it? Who do I reach out to? East London Sewer System Management. If you are listening, and thank you for listening, East London, all of London, because we are a global syndicate, that is. If I could get DM me, if I could get a chunk of this, I'm talking just a little block, like a foot, just a foot long block, just so I can, just historical. It's historical. It's been going on for a few years. Apparently a few years ago, they found even a larger one, but this one, you gotta chisel it. What do? Do you just fucking, use it as candle wax? You know what I'm talking about? Get that fucking, sewer scented candle wax, A little bit of, what is that I smell? That's burnt period blood mixed with oils and fats. That's beautiful, man. I want to fucking build a sculpture out of that. Not a pretty one because I don't know how to build sculptures, but eventually if I have more access to the fat, the first few aren't going to be bangers, but the next ones will get better over time. I do want to, what if we were to build a giant house out of it? How do we, just want to fucking play with it a little bit. No? Do you not want to run into it? Am I the only one? Then leave a comment. You guys are clearly missing out on life and are not looking at things for their full worth, really. If I had a 100-ton fatberg available to my personage, I would, God, I'd probably finally go on a date and just, sit a bitch down on the ledge and just be like, yo, hang your legs off this fatberg and like low-key kick it with your heels, and how good does that feel? Experience of a lifetime, really. But again, you don't want to spoil them too early either, so that's neither here or there. But nonetheless, I'm fascinated. I low-key want to take a bite out of it. It is disgusting, I know, but what does it feel like? It's poke it at least. If you're not gonna bite it, poke it at least. Put your cock in it, just fucking run full force with your clit right at it. Just slice it with your clit, dude. Just, you know what I'm talking about. Queef on it. See if it jiggles. Because you queef on you make Jello and you queef on that bad boy. That's how they get the shake in the commercials. You've seen the Jello shake in the commercials. Oh, buy this Jello and it's shaking. There's queefing going on the side. That's how they get them to shake. It's not the person shaking the Jello. Some bitch queefing on the side. So out of curiosity, I'd be wondering to myself, if we were to queef on this fatberg, would it wiggle? Question for my fellow East Londoners out there. Holla at your boy. I want a piece of that bad boy. God. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. What are we even talking about? What are we even talking about? You tell me. What are we even talking about? Or, we're in this together. So whatever we are talking about, having a good time. That's all we're doing. What else is going on? Interesting, exciting news around the world that's fascinating. This one is in technology. This is some of that shit that I want. I want some of this shit, son. I've read a little bit about this, read a little bit about it previously. I don't know much about it. This is scientific shit. If you're an expert and you like to sit down and have a chat, again, I don't know how to go about getting experts to come sit down and have a chat. I could come see you if you're close by in the GTA, Greater Toronto area. If you're here, you can come and visit me. We can make it happen. But I'm talking about scientists in the world of cloaking. They just created this device. Scientists, I believe, fact check this, I'm not even sure, to be honest with you. I just get excited. They're like, we've built a magnetic cloaking device. And as a man of science, as a scientist, I don't want to say that I'm going to take full credit for this one, because there were other people working on it, of course. But nonetheless, we all did our part, and without every part, we couldn't have the whole. So really, again, I'll just say team effort. We did it together, low-key. Some might want to give me full credit for this, but I don't want to. That's whatevs. We did it together. We're a team. There's no I in team. There's me in team. So, but that's neither here or there. Let's just talk about what it is. It's a cloaking device. The scientists community, they built a magnetic cloaking device, which allows you to cloak objects. Not people yet, I believe. Again, that's or who knows? This is what's getting released. Who knows what they've got in the background that the public's not even aware of. But yeah, apparently I don't know how they do it, but they built a device that could change the magnetic flow around objects, what's inside it, and boom, there you go. Now you see it, now you don't. Oh. doesn't work on humans, as at least not to my knowledge, but low-key can, but if it can like hide objects, if it could cloak objects, could you make an object for, could you make a box? Could you make a simple box for a human to get inside of and then cloak that box? I'm guessing you probably could, right? And then boom, right there, cloaking device. Is that for real? I should probably look way more into this. I just read an article. I didn't bother to look for a video or anything, because if there's a video, show me the videos of the cloaking. There are cloaking devices, right? Right? Are we on that shit? Oh, where's that come into? Aviation, a little bit of just like, you know, next level technology, super intelligent technology that can go undetected for the future. Is it low key? Is it stuff that we've retracted from all these, you know, crashed UFOs and shit people talk about? Is this some of that tech? Because you're like, oh, we now have cloaking devices. Is that because we made it, or did we get a little hint from somebody else? Did we backward engineer some shit? That's what I want to know. What else can we do? God, if I could just borrow that for, you know, if I could, you know, borrow that for long enough of a time to go inside a bank and just, I'm not greedy. I'm not going to take too much. It's not like they're going to notice. They don't even care to check. Just walk into a bank, just go undetected in a box, fucking watch the manager fucking work that lock, work that little vault, and then nighttime, fucking in a cloak, in a cloaking device. Just, you see my little hand, just, what is that? What is that? Nothing. It's just my hand reaching out a cloaking device to grab a little cash and then retrieve it, and then bam, I'm out of that place. But you won't see me. Or like, you know, drive up into a, you know, drive-through and be like, I'd like a cheeseburger deluxe and a small Coke. And then just pull up and just, sir, pull up. And I'm right there in her face. She doesn't see me. Just fucking hand comes out, you know, passes a card, or like she's freaking out. Holy shit. I'm like, don't freak out. This is next level, next generation technology, sweetheart. Don't freak out. Keep the change. You're like, but you paid with card. I said, keep the change. You know, so that's what I'd like to do. You know what I'm talking about? Or just like randomly just show up beside a dog who's taking a shit. Just get on your knees under a cloaking device, take a shit. So now the dog owner has to pick up 2 shits, wondering how his dog dropped 2 shits. And that's confusing, because what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Not pick up the other shit right beside your dog? So you're like, I thought I only saw him take 1 shit, but he double shat. And, you know, you want to be that guy, leaving your dog's shit on the side of the corner of the street, man. So fucking, I want to use it. I want to use it to just fucking, you know, God, it'd be nice to be invisible for a second, for a few minutes at least. But we got that apparently going on right now. So that's pretty cool, man. So shout out to the scientist community once again. Team effort, we did it together. Congratulations. Pat yourselves on the back. Finger yourselves, lady scientists, my bitches. Men, go in a corner and jerk off, or get sucked off by female scientists. We did it together. Apparently there's going to be another 1 million documents coming out in regards to Jeffrey Epstein and that whole, this saga continues, baby boys and baby girls. And at one point I got tired of it, but then at one point I'm like, that's what they want us to get tired of it. And then at another point, I'm like, that's what they want us to, you know, first get tired of it, forget about it, come back, still be like, yo, what's up? And then at the end of the day, I'm just like, man, well, let's figure it out. Let's just figure it out together. But apparently 1 million other files are coming out on some of the new findings about Jeffrey Epstein. He's dead. Who cares about him? But nonetheless, the topics he was interested in was a little bit meeting with Stephen Hawking, talking about cryogenics and wanting to leave behind a superhuman race. And that was some of his hobbies, I guess. He wanted to, you know, apparently he had plans on freezing his brain after his death and then wanting to come back later. He was into transhumanism. He wanted to come back and then repopulate or help populate the earth with a superhuman race consisting of his jizz, which is, you really gotta, man, had a really thought highly of his own jizz. I'll say that. But yeah, he wanted to come back and like impregnate 20 bitches at a time using his jism. He wanted to make a master class or a master race or a super race. People are always fascinated with super races, but nobody ever thinks about, like, you know, Because if you're gonna have a super race, you're gonna have to make a slave race as well. Nobody thinks about that. Because if everybody's the super race, then nobody's the super race. If everybody's the best of the best, then like everybody's the same. And what's super about that? So you gotta keep in mind, I'm not even agreeing with any of this shit. This is like, but if you're gonna do it, make a, you'd want some help. I guess you're like, that's when the robots come in, kill everybody, make a specific race, super, mediocre, whatever, it doesn't matter, the only one, and then have robots take care of the rest, whatever need be. But yeah, he wanted to do that apparently. He wanted to do that. It's funny, nobody actually comes and says, forget the superhuman. What if we just make a race of just like, retards? What about that? Nobody wants to do that. Everybody's got, and it's great, man. It's great. Shoot for the moon, come on the stars. That's what shoot when you're about to shoot rope. Aim high, so it doesn't land on you, or if it does, that's at least on your feet, not on your face. They say that. Shoot it up in the sky and then turn around and try to get it on your own back, so that it feels like, oh, there's multiple people in this room. They said that about aiming and pointing your jizz. But yeah, nobody wants to come and say, I want to make a race of just fucking like IQ of 10, just fucking, but strong, but like type, just fucking stumbling, falling, walking backwards, drooling, constantly shitting themselves, but super strong, great soldiers. So yeah, start off with just like, maybe not a super race, but like just an okay race. How about that? A little bit more realistic. Do that. What if he did that? What if his jizz is out there right now? What if he's dead and his jizz is out there? Because he had a lot of means. What if he paid somebody? He's like, in the time of my death, I want you to like get 20 bitches pregnant. Fuck. Who knows? More to be, of course, revealed in the coming days, months, years. And by that, I mean, we probably won't find out for a really, really long time if we find out what actually went the fuck down. But nonetheless, he was a creep. And he was into, fucking transhumanism, which a lot of people are. Low-key, a lot of people are. We all are to some, I guess we all are. And it's one of the things I'm beginning to realize. We all are to a certain extent, We do want the human race to sort of, even having sex and creating babies, that's a form of, I guess, transhuman. You want the seed to proceed and move forward. Now, that'll change and, morph into what it becomes in the future via evolution and maybe intervention with technology. But nonetheless, we are, I suppose, by simply selecting our mates, we are actually low-key eugenicists. We're like, I'm going to select the person that I see best fit to raise a child, male or female, doesn't matter, whatever you are. The opposite of that, you're like, these are the best hips. The baby's going to slide out comfortably. You don't want narrow hips for, because that baby's going to come out fucking, just claustrophobic and tight. You don't want that tight baby unless that tight baby is gonna go on to do amazing things in tight spaces, specifically made for very tiny spaces. How did he get there? Was it genetics, nature, nurture? No, it was her mother's boyish hips. So who knows what will happen? But I guess we're all, and that's the thing too. You see it with multi-billionaires and trillionaires, and that's what everybody really aspires to today. You talk to most people, everybody wants to become a trillionaire or a billionaire or a fucking, just fucking filthy rich. And that's what, you spread the seed at the end of the day, male or female. At the end of the day, you're like, man, I want to get my means and spread the seed, just fucking 20 kids here, whether it's different people doing it, but a lot of people, and that sets the tone. And I guess we've always been doing that. I guess to a certain degree. So all in all, old year behind us, old stuff out, new versions of old stuff in. Getting a lot of bitches pregnant with your seed. Because that's what people did back then, fucking, you heard of Genghis Khan, he fucking populated like half the planet or whatever, so same things, low-key, happening by the really rich and by the really poor too, because they're like, come to think of it, it's the really poor that you've seen really, really, you go to a place where you see like, if it's really poor, people have like 20 kids and, flies in their eyes. And then if they're really rich, they also have like 20 kids. So somewhere in the middle is where people like, they're like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kids. That's all. I need. But the really rich and the really poor, if you can just kind of like, you know, fucking lasso those two groups and somehow get a hold of that, or I don't know, to each their own, make 100 babies. What do I care? The point is, it's all fun. It's all fun. That's the point. What would you like if you had your choice? A superhuman race or a very dumb, retarded race of people who could do physical labor for cheap? You're like, I'll just get the robots to do it, but the robot sucking you off doesn't feel the same. You know, the 10 IQ retard's gonna suck you off, and that's human flesh on your cock. The robot one's still got work to do. Still not quite there yet. So, you know, all in all, it's a mixed bag. What else is going on? I believe in Cincinnati, or also known as Cincinnati, and in the US, I believe a bunch of neighborhoods have been hearing mysterious and strange noises all throughout the day, even throughout the night sometimes, and they don't know what's going on. It feels like sirens, or it sounds like sirens at times, but they don't know. And it's been going on for several days, weeks. No one knows what it is yet. We could speculate together. We could say that it could be just like, it could be like, you know, like a factory that's just got like, you know, broken equipment, or what, you know, it's a steam whistle. It's a steam whistle. That's just, you know, that's broken. It could be that. It could be like a rage room. And by that, I mean, it's not a rage room. I mean, it's a collective of females who are getting in a room and queefing, you know, synchronized queefing techniques to, you know, get empowered. It could be that. It could be low-key. It could be like a, you know, it could be, I don't know. It's what it could be it could be a, we've all heard of like using sound as weapon. It could be and I'm not saying this is being used as a weapon, but you know, it's an experiment. You could say it's an experiment, and maybe you're being experimented on. Maybe there's a noise going off in the neighborhood, and we'll see what happens. It could be just to see when will people notice this noise. It could just be as simple as that. Will people even notice? Will people question what it is? What will happen to the population once exposed long-term to this noise? Will they carry on normally as they usually would, or would some of them absolutely lose their marbles, having been exposed to this mysterious, strange noise going off at all odd hours of the evening? Next thing you know, fucking cats are breastfeeding birds. Next thing you know, children are drawing images that are low-key questionable. You're like, why, Jimmy? You're only 5. Why? What's with the dark images, Jimmy? And next thing you know, your husband may have he didn't sleepwalk, but now he does. Maybe now your husband sleepwalks, and that's not fun. That's not fun. Or unless he sleepwalks and is productive, and by that I mean gives you a foot rub. By that I mean sits down and, you know, does a little bit of work, gets a little bit more time off on the weekend to spend with you. Who knows? It could go in any direction. You ladies, you could maybe it could impact your ovulation cycle. What about that? What if it impacts your ovulation cycle? Next thing you know, it's just fucking, it's like a broken, you know, one of those, you're at the casino, it's like a broken slot, and now it's just you're getting rid of all the eggs all at once. Like ding 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 ding, you win, cash prize. And it's just you're unloading your eggs because of this noise that's being used as a potential experiment. Or it just could be, you know, a factory that's in need of some electrical work. Some wires have been crossed. Who knows? I'm sure it will work itself out. But again, just reminds me of North and South Korea blasting music to each other's side to kind of like, you know, fucking mess with each other's brains. But I'm sure this isn't that. I'm sure this isn't that. It's not though. No. In New York, I heard a school district got in a little bit of trouble, faced a little bit of backlash. And that's the type of lash that people always get, isn't it? You've never heard people getting front lash. So-and-so did this thing, you got a little bit of backlash. Never have I heard of a case of front lash. Why? Are lashes not good enough to be placed on the front, only to be placed on the back? You're gonna get these lashes in the back. You're gonna get backlash. Like, I don't even care, dude. Put as many lashes as you want on my back. I don't care, as long as it's not in the front. Was that the rule? Everybody was like, hey, wherever you want to put the lashes, I'm fine with, as long as it's not in the front, all right? The point is, they face a little bit of backlash, not to be mistaken with blacklash, because that could happen as well. And we all know lashes come in different shades and colors, so you're lucky it's not just blacklash. Because what if you're not carrying black hair on your body? And that could be weird, because everybody's looking at you. You got blonde hair, blonde eyebrows, brunette hair, brunette eyebrows are red, and you got blacklash, and now you're sticking out like a sore thumb, fella. But this school, neither here or there, ladies and gentlemen. Let's skirt back to the story. The school got a little bit of backlash, not to be mistaken with backlash. It's aside the point. They got a little bit of backlash because they used boxes, or a box rather, in classrooms to punish children who were, I guess, being rowdy or disruptive or whatever. And it was just a box. I saw this and low-key it just it came on my radar, because I'm like, yo, you heard of these, like, people, specifically like schools and teachers and students, relations have changed a long way, and for the better for the most part. Of course, you don't want like teachers like hitting students, or like, whipping them, or like, giving them, taking a ruler and smacking them, or like chucking, utensils at them or whatever, or like flipping a table, or like, just ripping a thick textbook in front of them. Although that'd be kind of entertaining. I never got that. Would it have been inspiring to see a teacher lose their mind and just rip a really thick textbook in front of us? Low-key, I would have kind of been down for that, but it never happened, and it's long gone now. I'm over it. I don't care. But yeah, I saw this box. I'm like, I get it. You shouldn't hit children, especially if they're not yours. Fine, we get that. Yeah. But a box isn't, and if people aren't cool with the box, there should be something, because like you want the teacher to have a little bit of power. You know what I'm talking about? You don't want just like, you don't want you want a little bit of authority. So maybe, I say bring back the spitballs. Teachers should be able to use spitballs on, roll up a little tissue paper and like, just get a little pen and then just spit through like a little dart. Teachers should have that. Jimmy's being a little bit too rowdy, right there, and the box, how big is that? I saw the box, it wasn't too small or anything. Like, the kids should make and that's the thing too, when they face adversity, the kids should take this box also to see it as an opportunity to be more rowdy. Incorporate that into your act, whatever you're doing to disrupt the class. That's, again, deemed disruptive, but really it's entertainment. It's just how some children channel their energies. And how could you even blame them? Sit down for like 8 hours non-stop with like little tiny breaks, which aren't long enough. But doesn't matter. The point is that what form of punishment would be okay? If the box isn't okay, the hitting is definitely not okay. We know that by now. Box, people are not locking the box. What if it was like a topless box? What if it didn't have like a, what if it was just like you go in a box and you can see your classmates, but just your neck below is covered. Head and above is you can still see your head. Unless you're a really short kid. Children do vary in heights because, some kids grow faster than others. Then you'd have to have different size boxes. You could have that, What if it was a box filled with like, room temp water? Get in the room temp box of water, Sally, and how uncomfortable is that? But it's not the worst thing for your disruptive behavior. Something, I'm just saying something, could they throw, use a stapler to kind of like, chuck, throw staples at children, at least, to get their attention. Throwing chalk, I'm not cool. That's too much power, because like a grown-up chucking chalk, no. Flicking pieces of chalk, not too bad. I'm just putting ideas out there. What do you guys and gals think? Leave a comment. What about a squirt gun? What about a squirt gun? Someone's being a little bit too right there, right? Something for a little bit of it. There's got to be a balance. Not for the box either, but I'm also like low key, What about, water balloons. You smack a kid with a water balloon, then they'll sit down. Just fucking right there. And it's just a water balloon. Who got hurt? No one. Putting ideas out there, of course. Leave a comment if you like, and we'll see how this one solves itself, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. I'm a fan of many things. I like many things. Some things, of course, I simply won't get behind or in front of. I'm one of those things that I say, fuck it, I will not deal with this shit. I don't ever want one in my life. And what is that you say? I'm glad you asked. Thank you. I'm just gonna say it outright. There's no point of beating around the bush. Let's just get right to it. When it comes to walk-in closets, fuck it. I don't want one. A walk-in closet can go fuck itself. I don't want a room having that much control and power over my speed. My body, my choice, walk-in closets. I don't know how people opt for this in their housing when they're like, oh, I'll take a walk-in closet or two. You're gonna give that kind of power over to a closet, to a space, to a room, over your person. I mean, do what you want, but this guy, if I feel like strolling in a room, all right, I'll fucking do it. Walk-in closet, telling me what speed I can walk in that space that I've paid for. This is a walk-in closet. No running in the walk-in closet. If I felt like running at high speed in my so-called walk-in closet, you bet your bottom dollar I'm gonna fucking run in that walk-in closet. Because at the end of the day, who pays the bills for this shit, you know? Who's the human? What is the object? You have a little bit of self-respect. Do not just willy-nilly just be like, I don't want this response. So when it gets to all other rooms, I'm fine with having control over my speed. But when it gets to this walk-in closet, I want full control handed over to this closet, which is, and why? Why all of a sudden we turn into these, we all resort back to our reptilian brain functioning and taking over. It's like, I can't go at any other speed. I'm in a walk-in closet. You'd never accept that for any other room. And if they told you this is a walk-in kitchen or a walk-in living room, or if it was a walk-in bathroom and it's diarrhea, knock, knock. Who's knocking at your rectum? It's your shits. We've all been there when the shits are fucking all of them, all right? They fucking pulled the handbrake, they pressed the NOS button, and all the shit is just packed up behind your shitter and just wait. And you gotta run. And if it were to be, this is a walk-in bathroom, no run, you get the fuck out of here with that shit. So walk-in closets, nay. Not before, not during, not after, not ever. You'll never see me in a walk-in closet, dog. This is a walk-in basement. I will fucking sprint, or I will walk I'll walk so slow, bro, that it's not even it's criminal how slow I'm walking. Why? Because I have full autonomy of this body. A room, a physical space is not going to dictate to a human being. Not today, at least. Not until they actually fucking come and show us what we need to see, and that is physical evidence of other forms of existence. Till then, ladies and gentlemen, stand up with your chests out, your titties being rubbed by yourself or a loved one, nuts in at least the palm of your hand, and say it proud. We are the human race, god damn it. We'll never back down. We'll never give over our speed limit to a room. Say it with me, brethren and sisters. Join in arms and say it with me. We'll never give up our choice of speed in any given room, whether it be a closet or simply a hallway, place of residence, commercial building, an outhouse, an in-house, a shed, a barn, anywhere, underground, above ground, on water, As long as we made it, we fucking dictate the speed, motherfuckers. Let it be known. But I've got good news, of course. You know me, and I like sharing many good news. It's a different world today. Many old things have come and gone, and some things have come to replace them. And today I'd like to say that if you're in the market, I know a lot of, and again, it is Boxing Day, and because of boxing, we're gonna put everything on sale. I'm gonna go ahead and call it Boxing Day because we're just gonna put everything on sale. And if you are out there in the market looking to get female genital mutilation, now you can come to Canada and get it, not just for yourself, not just for adults, of course, that's always available, but for children as well. We do this. We can now do this. We've been doing it. We'll continue to do it until somebody fucking comes down and starts asking questions and, you know, gets in our way. But till then, we in Canada, at least in BC, I know different provinces have different laws, but in BC, I just heard in the past 5 years, 72, and this is the number that's been released to the public apparently. There may be more, 72. I'm guessing because they said children. I'm gonna say under 18 women, which are children, female baby girls then, not even women. 72 of them got their breasts removed. And you can do this now. And I don't know how long it's gonna last. Because you're gonna eventually, at one point you're gonna get haters. And that's what they want you to fucking, that's when, because they want to come down and shut it down. They don't want you to have that kind of power over children. And for children to have that kind of power over themselves either. They wanna, you know, have children with small titties protected, but it's, you get to make the shots. You get to call the shots. You get to, because think about this. If there are places that look, you know, down on this and don't see it as a cool thing, that's fucking, it's like, yo, what kind of society are we living in? That's not even cool. So 72 young girls got their breasts removed permanently, and another 2,223 children went on hormone or gender therapy, and they used, I guess, chemicals to low-key, chemical castration is what it is. But that one, it's cool FGM is what I'm telling you, man. It is awesome FGM, and we do this in Canada today. And any other time in the past, if this was done, we sure would have looked at them and be like, oh, look at this sub-Saharan African tribe take their young, because sometimes they did that. I remember studying about that when I was in school, and they're like, oh, look at this sub-Saharan African village. The elder females come and grab all the younger females when they hit puberty, whenever that is, and they grab them and they take them into a tent and they genitally mutilate them, and they rip off their clits. And for a brief moment, let us enjoy this noise in the background. Oh yeah, you can just hear that, baby. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. What is that? It's the epic sound of the holidays. It's the epic sound of, it's the people back in the background chanting, Bach, sing, Bach, sing. And slowly but surely it fades away, and back again to what we were talking about. The point is, ladies and gentlemen, that yeah, we looked at that and we read about that in our textbooks, and we're like, man, that's female genital mutilation, and we didn't know how to think about it back then. We didn't know, but now we know that it's really cool, and you can do it. You can do it to both males and females. Put them on gender affirming care, because without gender affirming care, their gender is not affirmed. You need to get gender affirming care from pharmaceuticals, because you need the pharmaceuticals to affirm your gender. You're like, and don't listen to people who tell you that you're just born with it. You can just rip it off. If they're children, rip off their genitals and mutilate them. You should get to experiment. You should, without labels, because back in the day, if you did that, if they did that in the 30s and 40s, people would have jumped and labeled you as a, Nazi human experimenting doctor. And that comes with its own labels and the stigma. But now, all that is gone. And and it's better now. You can do that now. So, you know, a lot of people travel for different things. You know, you go to Turkey to get your hair transplant, fucking come to Canada and rip your own genitals off, rip your children's genitals off, and switch it and affirm it. And that's available, baby. So take advantage. I don't know when people's attitudes are going to change about this, but I just want to say FGM is cool. Male circumcision, also male genital mutilation, very cool, globally accepted. But I want, you know, let us. I guess the men, the boys have had it for a really long time. But you want full-blown female genital mutilation because it's really awesome, man. It is really cool, and it just, you know, fucking growing up, puberty, tits growing and getting in your way. Get rid of it. Who needs it? Your developing body, producing hormones and giving you a chance to one day to have sex and birth children. Ugh, who needs that? Toss it aside. Affirm it with pharmacare and pharmaceuticals, and enjoy yourselves. And don't listen to anybody who tells you it's not cool. FGM fucking rules, dude. It is the holidays, and now you've gotten yourself a lot of meals inside you, and you're faced with it's a new part of your body. It's always been there, but now it's kind of low-key on the outside. So again, it just came because you ate a lot of food. It came because you ate a ton of food, and now you got an anal fissure. But lucky for you, I want to say this holiday season, 2025 going into 2026, it's your lucky day because anal fissures are so in right now. Super hot. Everybody's losing their mind over anal fissures. The more you get, the better your chances are of surviving life and making it all the way to the top. So enjoy yourselves. If you're concerned, you're like, oh, I don't know what to do with this anal fissure. Enjoy it. Low-key, the best thing you can do with an anal fissure is to use it and show it off. A lot of times we're like, where do I even take it to show it off? Ever seen a dog stick his head out or her head out of a car that's moving on a highway or just just a regular road, and they're having a time of their life? It's the same thing with anal fissures. Roll down your window, stick your ass out of the car window, and just make sure your little flap, your little tiny flap that's sticking out of your butthole, the little flap, that is when the wind is hitting that little fissure and it's going right in the wind, you and your fissure will have the time of your life. Others will see you and your anal fissure and look at you and say, oh man, they're so happy. And you're creating happiness for others. And that I know is you're like, I'm happy, putting the wind in my fissure's hair. That makes me feel good. But all these people feeling good also makes me feel good. Is that selfish? I don't know. To feel good and make others feel good, is that selfish? And so be it. Call me selfish if need be. The point is that enjoy. It is extremely, extremely hot right now. It's in. People are they're making little tiny sunglasses and putting them on their little anal fissures, taking them for walks, tossing the frisbee at the park, catching it with their anal fissure, playing catch with their anal fissures. Right now, people are doing this. I don't know how long it'll last. They say, this new sport is going to be the new and everything comes and goes. So I don't know how long it'll last, but enjoy it. It's here right now. Enjoy it, okay? Enjoy it right now. Because you never know when things go away. You might apply a cream one day and there goes your anal fissure. Gone. Lonely. Empty nester now? Yeah. God, how we take granted the things we've got and only miss them when they're gone. So enjoy your anal fissure is what I'm trying to tell you. Because you never know what gets taken away, ladies and gentlemen. And I'll just, wrap it up with this beautiful story, which makes me a little bit sad, which makes me contemplate the deeper issues of life sometimes. Ask myself questions like, why? Where? When? How? Whom? What? And it just sometimes, there's no logic behind it. There's no rhyme or reason. A story that I've heard that just touched me and made me it made me realize that life is short and we should all try to put as much into the things that we do as possible and grab as much as we can on the way out as well. Because you never know. You know, you could be a few years ago, not too long ago, drug traffickers, beautiful, beautiful drug traffickers, narco traffickers, used to get large sums of cocaine and meth and all other sorts of drugs and put them into submarines from South America and ship them all the way to Europe. And this was just a few years ago. And once their drugs got to Europe, because the nature of the business was lucrative, they made a lot of money. They could afford to sink their submarines that they used to deliver the drugs right at somewhere. Some, we don't know where, but they found some. In Spain, they found some. But they would just sink these submarines. They call them narco subs. They'd sink them because they made enough money. But again, times, things change, time moves forward. Prices of coke apparently have gone down. It's significant to the point where these narco traffickers, ladies and gentlemen, I don't even know how to say. Narco traffickers are now having to recycle their submarines. And I'm talking a lifestyle which accumulated a lot of wealth, allowed these people to put the shipments in the subs, send them over, and then sink the subs. And they used to afford themselves and their families and close loved ones before they get taken out of a very, it's a competitive life. People are like, oh, it's glamorous, it's so easy to be a narco trafficker. Yeah, it's only a short period of time. You're like a sportsman. You're like a entertainer. It's a short period of time. It's a short window. And these people got in there, the game, and they fucking made the loot and lived the life and sunk those submarines. But now because of the prices of coke going down, the market becoming saturated by other competitors around the world, it doesn't afford them the same luxury of having the ability to sink these submarines. And now they're having to, like disgusting peasants, like disgusting everyday working men and women, they have to recycle the submarines and bring them back and fill them up with drugs and then send them back again. The same goddamn submarines, which, as far as I'm concerned, I don't know, man. I sometimes question things. Like, I ask myself, is it even, God, if it's not even worth it to sell drugs and sink your own submarine, now you have to reuse the same submarine. I say, God, where did we go wrong? This isn't fair, god damn it. This isn't fucking fair. I say, why can't we just give AIDS to some baby somewhere? Just give AIDS. Give a baby AIDS somewhere. I don't know how to fucking go move forward this shit today like this. I'm gonna be get it together, man. Get it together. It just hurts to know that these beautiful people used a lot of money and afforded a very luxurious lifestyle have to now recycle their submarines like, again, disgusting peasants. It's a sad day. It's a sad, sad day. I just want to see a day where we can all flourish and be covered in jewelry, maybe wearing a lot of Versace shirts, drenched in gallons of perfume and cologne, doused with even more watches and jewelry, rolling out of expensive cars, only to get into even more expensive cars, to then exit those expensive cars and then get into some other expensive car, only to drive somewhere and exit the expensive car, and then shortly after get inside another expensive car, only to drive around in circles and get dropped off at your first expensive car, only to drive off in your first expensive car and blow up the other 3 expensive cars and shoot a helicopter from the sunroof of your expensive car and then jump in an airplane and get sucky time and go off into the sunset. I hope we all get to experience that, but it takes being strong, it takes being agile and having the ability to move with the times, have agility, change. Don't be like, if we can take one thing away from today's podcast episode, is do not be like the penny, do not be like the letter. And if we can, I don't know, man, can we take some money from some school district somewhere and just funnel it into the bank accounts of narcos so that they can sink their submarines? God damn it. And I'm just gonna, I'll leave it up to the public. If you guys have any ideas, please leave a comment. If we can save one group, one endangered group today, even one, then I know it's worth it. Then I know there's meaning inside and outside too. Together we are strong. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, I love y'all. Peace out. Get out of here. Get out of here.